Hello, everyone. How are you doing? I've been listening to a lot of NPR lately, and I thought maybe I should just do the entire show like this. Just whisper at you like a fucking creep who's not even sure what he's gonna do. Fuck that. Oh, man. I've actually been enjoying it. I don't know why. I think it's because the local rock station, it's just the same bullshit. Like, it's the same songs over and over and over again. So even though I love them, fucking tired of hearing them. So I'd rather if someone prattled along and talked about the world's bullshit than listen to the same songs I love over and over and over again because I'm going to hate them. So thank you, NPR. Somehow you helped me. All right, let's see if we can get this shit started. We're going to have a fucking fun show. Unlike NPR, which, let's be honest, it does what it does, but it's not there for fun. Okay. Let's edit the privacy on this motherfucker, make it public. Yes. That is done. And now you know what? Let's also edit the post so that everybody knows exactly who we're talking about. Da-da-da. There we go. That should help a fair amount. And speaking of, in case you guys weren't aware, we are talking with Josh Nealis tonight. He's got his book Turkey Sharks issue 3 coming out tonight. Good, we got people happening. Hey guys, you know what's up? Share, like, comment, do all that shit. Make me know that let me know that you're here. We're gonna have fun because what's going on? The fucking world. We got the fucking midterm elections or whatever bullshit. I don't know if you want to sit around and watch that. So let's have some fun. Josh is here. He does all sorts of crazy fucking books. And he does a lot of comedy and such too. So it's kind of perfect to have somebody else who loves a good laugh. We're going to have fun. We're going to make the night terrific. And we're not going to be bored with the future of the world. Because fuck. I'm tired of the future of the world already. So, without any more ados, let's just fucking make this shit happen. Booyah.
Canadian bacon is actually really good, and it's nothing like normal bacon, and it's better than ham, which you guys seem to call Canadian bacon. I'm very good at writing. I write very well. Yeah, it's Shop Talk.
Do some of your audience members like the word fuck? Cool. Then I'm going to keep saying fuck. Because I care.
Cutthroat Comics, what's up, man?
What's happening?
I'm doing good, buddy. How are you?
Tired, exhausted. All words.
Well, I mean, you're pushing a Kickstarter right now for Tiger Sharks 3, but you're also still doing shows. Like, didn't you like have a show last weekend? You got another one coming up this weekend or some shit?
Yeah, I did. Friday night, I did a library. Saturday, I did a gaming convention. Sunday, I watched the Packers destroy their season, and then this coming
destroy in a good way or in a bad way?
In a bad way. They're awful. And then this Sunday I've got my last show of the year down in Piqua, Ohio. So
cool.
Yep, busy. Plus, I think I've done 4 podcasts already. I got you tonight. I got 2 tomorrow. I think 1 on Friday. Yeah, I mean, just it's packed.
I feel you, dude. And that Packers thing, that's tough because I know kind of how you feel. Because the Packers, they have like they're a team that you can look back upon and be like, dude, they've had some good years.
Yep.
And I live in cowboy country. Same fucking thing, good years. But right now, ain't any of those good years.
Yeah, actually, Packers play the Cowboys on Sunday, so we'll see how that goes.
I bet you it ends up in a shitty tie.
Yeah. I expect the Cowboys to win, even though I would love to see Green Bay actually win that one. But
You know
we'll
what?
see.
I'll let you win just because I don't give a fuck about football.
No, perfect. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I'll make a phone call.
We here on Chuck's Shop Talk, we aim to fucking please. As I said before, guys, hey, if you're here, comment so that we know that you're here and we can talk about whatever the fuck you guys want to talk about. Because, of course, I have had Josh on the show before. We have had a good time. But you guys always make it just a little bit better. So, Josh, tell us a little bit about Turkey Sharks and what's going on.
Yeah, this is issue 3. It's my 12th overall comic that I've written and put out into the world. They're basically like my Avengers, my X-Men, my Teen Titans. Well, no, not my Teen Titans. My Avengers, my X-Men. They're all Justice League. That's all my characters rolled into one. I was doing 3 separate series, and that got overwhelming, and the story arcs kind of ended anyway. So I was like, well, time to throw them all in the same book. We'll focus on one series, and we'll do Kickstarters for them. So this is my 3rd Kickstarter. And, the first 2 went pretty well, above expectations on both of those. This one's, it's moving, but it's a little slower than the other 2 have been. So I'm not nervous. I'm fine, but still, it's like, oh, I wish we could keep going up a little bit. But
you'd like it to do better, of course.
Yep.
Now, I have a question for you because we had Belial come out last month, and that was same thing. It was a fucking push. Like we pushed all the way through, and I mean, we did good numbers, but Sean and I were pushing the entire fucking time, like every single day. We got shit going on. So, and I'm not to say anything about you. I wouldn't even know what you've done because again, the algorithm has choked you so much. I wasn't even sure that you had a book up until you and I talked just before. So I guess what I'm asking is one thing when I looked back on the campaign, I went, cool. That algorithm beat the shit out of me. I needed to be on more platforms, which I did Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, but I mostly pushed Facebook and I didn't give, and I actually did pretty good on Twitter, but I think I could have done more love on them. Like that's kind of me sort of going back, replaying the tapes, checking it out. Also, I think that it was a good reminder that I need to work harder on my mailing list.
I just feel like a head. I'm trying to feel like Max Headroom over here. Sorry, go ahead.
Right? No, that's okay. So for you, is there anything you're looking at your campaign? You're going, so what have I? Is there something I've missed, or is there something I'm not doing, or?
Yeah, it's
I know we're only a week in.
Yeah, I'm doing all I can. I'm doing every social media I have, from Instagram to TikTok, Snapchat. I rarely use the company page. I'll post on there when, once or twice a week, maybe, just because I know Facebook is just going to push it down, like in a Cadillac, it's just going to push it straight down, and it's just not going to help me out. So I've been posting as much as I can. I've been trying to be funny about things, and it's tough. It's a tough world out there. For a hot minute there, social media was a great tool to use, and it still is. But they want that cheddar. So it's tough.
I mean, they're already getting it by selling our information. Now you have to get it directly from us? Fuck you guys. Come on.
Yeah, I was just thinking about it today. I don't know if you remember, but back, 5-7 years ago, when you have a business page on Facebook, you would post and it would show you how many people saw the post.
Yeah.
Remember that? Oh my God, that used to frustrate me all to hell, because the company page had 1,500 likes or whatever it's at, and I'd look at the post and it would say 37 people saw this, and it's like, what the fuck? Seriously? So yeah, it is what it is. It's like you got to pay your artist to draw the damn book, and then apparently now you have to pay Facebook for 15 people to see your posts.
Well, no, I'm pretty sure if you pay them, they'll double that to 30.
Yep, $20.
That's pretty good of them, I think, too. 20 bucks to get 30.
Yep.
That's a fucking deal right there.
Yeah, I've been doing at the couple cons and stuff, and I did this for the last Kickstarter too. I tell people, hey, if you back the Kickstarter for $20 or more, I'll give you a free floppy right here on the spot. So, and yeah, I've got a handful of people that have done that a few times, so it helps.
Well, and that's I like that, but that's a dangerous proposition because, of course, they can always back out, right?
Well, true. I think between the two, I've only had one person not pay so far. I think so. I mean, I'm out of 70 some people between the two of them or whatever. So that's
badass.
Yeah.
I had one guy come to me and he goes, "Hey man, can we do like share for a share?" And I was like, "Of course we can." He's like, "What about pledge for a pledge?" And I was like, "I'll pledge $1 to yours if you want to do $1 to mine." He's like, "Yeah, okay." And I was like, "That way, like everyone who's following us will see." And he's like, "Yeah, okay, perfect." So we did that. The motherfucker dropped his $1 pledged.
Oh, jeez.
I was like, "Are you serious right now? Like, you were so fucking petty." I gave him the $1.
Yeah.
I didn't drop my pledge.
You should have doubled it. Should have gave him $2.
Give him $2. No, I gave him the $1 because my thought was, well, bitch, if you need it that bad, I'm gonna give it to you.
Yep.
I'm gonna let you keep it, and I'm gonna be the better man. Because come on, like really, it was just pathetic. But that shit happens, and honestly, at the end of the day, it's funnier than it is anger-inducing.
Yep.
So we've got politics going on in the world. I don't know how connected you are in politics.
More than I should be.
Right? I feel you there. I'm lucky in the fact that I'm just adrift on an ocean because I'm a Canadian in America. I can't vote.
Right.
So I actually got on my wife and I'm like, babe, you gotta vote. Like you gotta let these people know what's up. And no, I'm just talking with.
No, I was just gonna say.
Oh.
It's been announced already at
by a landslide or by like one vote?
like 7 or 8%.
Oh yeah. Okay. So our incumbent governor stayed in.
Yeah, I was checking it while I was waiting on you, and some of them are a little bit surprising, I would say.
I wasn't surprised by mine. I'm not a fan of our governor, and I really wanted him gone. But I knew that his opponent was way too left for Texas to be cool with it.
Yeah, probably. That's why he didn't beat Cruz. He almost beat Cruz. I think it was pretty close. I think a few percent, something like that. But yeah, he's further left than I am. That's for sure.
Right.
Which is whatever. But I think Beto. I think he means well. I think he's a good dude. And,
I think so too. I just don't think. I think honestly, Beto, get the fuck out of Texas. Like you're wasted here. What Texas needs, if they want this blue wave or whatever, you can't just hit people with. And I know, guys, we just went full politics, but you can't go full far left and then go, hey, Texas, I'm sure you're interested in this. Fuck no, they're not. They're not. And I mean, even still, 7%, that's a close fight. But it easily could have gone the other way if they got someone a little more moderate.
Just a touch more. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I know that there was like certain things even my wife read where she was like, oh my gosh, I can't be okay with that. I don't know if I want to vote for him. And I was like, fuck, girl. But yeah, it just, I don't know. So I guess what I'm going to say is, in your work, how much is politics a part of the work that you do. And I don't necessarily mean you putting your own personal politics in there, but even like using politics as a tool for your stories and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And a lot of, like, and even in a satirical way, I think anybody who's a writer or an artist, I mean, what's that saying? Art is political. I mean, regardless of what you're doing, you're making some type of statement with your art, whether it be innocuous or heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are definitely multiple characters that have certain aspects of certain people. I mean, Snapdragon and Stingray 1 through 3 and into Turkey Sharks. I mean, he had a lot of Trump in him, just because he just said stupid bullshit all the time. There was a character called Mother Approved who was extremely hypocritical. She wanted teenage pop stars to dress appropriately, although herself had large breasts. So there's stuff like that. And even into my novels and stuff, you take these aspects of, not just politicians, but people you've met in real life, and you throw them in a blender and mix it up and see what comes out.
No, absolutely. And so you said you'd made 12 comics already. How many novels have you done?
Let's see. So I've done one self-help, 2 kids books, so 2 books of short stories and poems. So that's 5. So 5.
Cool. What's the self-help book?
It's for people going through divorce.
Oh, good for you. Okay.
Part of the proceeds of that one go to a nonprofit here in my town that helps people coming out of abusive relationships. So I donate $1 for every book that sells.
That's really sweet, because I was about to be comedic about it and be like, yeah, part of the proceeds of that go to paying my fucking alimony.
And that's part of the reason I wrote the book, because I feel like I did pretty well with all that. So I kind of wanted to, here's how I handled this and that. And, I don't get too deep into what specifically happened with my relationship, but I talk about coping. I talk about getting back into dating. I talk about finances and buying a house and all kinds of stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, I've been told it's pretty decent too. So,
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic, dude. And what a like, and I think that's something that I really respect and like about you, is that, like, a lot of times people have their niche. I don't know what the fuck your niche is, Josh, because you're all over the fucking map, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. You know what I mean? Like, especially, I have a lot of people who I've seen, they do have their niche and they sell really hard into that, and it does well for them. But for you, it means that I feel like you can go to a convention and pretty much anyone who shows up at your table, you've got something they're going to be interested in.
That's exactly the point.
Yeah.
As I started doing this stuff, I would have somebody come to my table and be like, "Oh, I like this genre," and I'm like, "Oh, I don't really have something for you." And then it would get awkward, and I'd be like, "Okay, bye." So,
yeah.
But I mean, I see a lot of writers post a lot of stuff. I've been trying to put a full thought together and do like a cool Facebook post about this. But I see a lot of writers will talk about writer's block and not being able to come up with ideas and all that. I do not have that problem. I could sit down now and start my next novel with just a handful of notes that I have in my phone. The last several books that I've written, Hellscape in particular, and then I just released the prequel sequel. It's like it jumps around. It's both. It's called Concert of Flies. Not once did I sit here for more than like 60 seconds going, what should happen next? Like I sit down and go. I mean, it's like a faucet. So I don't have that issue. I don't know if it's a gift. I don't know if I'm actually a terrible writer and I'm just good at putting it on the page. But people seem to enjoy my work typically. So I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah, right. No, good for you, man. Well, and there's a couple other guys that I feel are actually. I would put you in the same boat as like. Do you know Frank Martin?
I do not know.
Oh, dude, he would be your guy because that's another dude. He puts out like at least a comic every quarter. Plus, he's done novels and he's done all sorts of stuff. So
Mhm.
yeah, and the genres are all over the place.
Yeah, yeah. It's actually the next novel I'm going to write is going to be a romantic comedy for men. Like
Okay.
so I find myself from time to time when I'm feeling blue, I will find like one of those corny ass romantic comedies and throw it on, that you get that happy ending and shit. And I was like, I have an idea. I had an idea for one kind of that came about from a different idea. Um, I was, yeah, I'll touch on it, I suppose. So I have that self help book. I was thinking about writing another book called The Bro Code, where I go over the rules and regulations of how you treat your male friends. As far as like
Okay.
don't date their exes unless you get permission, like stuff like that. And then I thought, you remember in the movie Scream how what's his nuts?
Mm.
What was it? Randy? Was it Randy?
Jamie Kennedy, yeah.
How he's got the rules. So I'm going to kind of mix that in with a romantic comedy where the dude's roommate has the bro code and he guides it through. And I'm bringing back some of my stories from my dating experiences to mix in with that it's going to be interesting. We'll see how it turns out. It probably will turn out completely different from what I just described because
Right.
that's what happens. But I think this is a good place to start. I think it's already.
That's a fun idea though, dude. I'm imagining just off the top of my head, just with you mentioning this, something very akin to like Zombieland, where he's going through his
Yeah.
life, and then at different points he's like, by the way, rule 7, always look back or wear your seatbelt or whatever, and then you would be doing the same thing where you're like, rule 12, don't look at your buddy's girlfriend below the neck. It's just not worth it.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have the roommate be the narrator. That's what I'm kind of thinking too, because I've not really done that yet. Where there's like a full-on narrator telling the story. So
Right. Have you do you can you think of any, because I thought of one right away. Can you think of any like movies or anything like that you could say are similar to like a male version of a romantic comedy?
yeah, I mean, there's like the bromance movies. What was that one with Paul Rudd and Jason Segel?
Oh, I love you, man.
I Love You, Man. There's
That was a good one.
what, That Awkward Moment? Is that the one with Zac Efron? I think.
I don't know that one.
I can't remember. I think that's what it was called. I'm almost positive that's what it's called. What's that? 40 Days and Nights with Josh Hartnett was kind of a romantic comedy. Wicker Park, I don't think that was really a romantic comedy, but it was like a dude centric kind of movie like that, romance.
One that I thought, okay, so it didn't have a lot of romance, but the romance was definitely a cool part of it. Actually, Keanu Reeves, The Replacements.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know what it is about that movie. I fucking love that movie. Like that's just one of those stupid movies. Like when I used to make fun of TBS. I think they call it Peachtree TV now or whatever the fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And they would just. It was like they went to Blockbuster, picked up a couple movies, and were like, "This is the movie you're going to see for the next month," and it would show up all the time. So they just had access to particular movies that would show up, and that was one of them that would just randomly one day they're like, "We don't have anything going on in this 2-hour block. Throw in The Replacements."
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
For a long time, it was on all the time.
Right?
Before I started this company, so I was in my band, and then between the band and this company, I ran a movie review website, and one of the things I would do was like top 5 this or that. And one time I did top 5 movie quarterbacks, but it wasn't my opinion. I actually watched the movie, wrote down their stats, and then got their quarterback rating.
Oh, wow.
I don't have it anymore, but I'm almost positive that Shane Falco was number one.
I can imagine that.
I watched probably 20 or 30 football movies, and unfortunately, a lot of them it was too difficult to judge, like how many yards they were throwing for and incompletion and stuff. So I really had to narrow it down. I'm trying to remember who made the list. Shane Falco was on there. Willie Steeman Beeman from Any Given Sunday was on there. Johnny Moxon was on there. Oh man, I'm trying to remember who else. I think the dude from was it Necessary Roughness?
No, I assumed someone from there would be on.
I think he was number 5. But
okay.
Yeah, I wish I still had it. I think about it all the time. I'm like, man, I wish I would have kept that, because that took a long time to research and stuff. It took me a couple of weeks. So.
Well, was that a video that you did, or
it was ultimately it was a meme, I guess. But I had 5 guys and I had their quarterback rating under it. I'm almost positive that Shane Falco was number 1.
I mean, he was really fucking good quarterback.
Yeah. Yep. It was fun to do, though. So if anybody ever wants to do that, feel free. It was pretty cool. It was interesting to do.
Yeah, I can imagine. And there's been even more football movies since then, so there'd be even more to play with.
Yep.
Is there a sport that you think would just be absolute shit for movies?
As in, you should not make a movie about this sport?
Yeah.
You know what? Here's a hot take.
Oh.
There's there's a handful of types of movies that I don't really like. I don't care for Westerns, and I don't really care for gangster things. But specifically, I will not watch a movie about horse racing. And
okay.
I don't really care for boxing movies that much either.
Wow. Why horse racing?
Fuck that shit. That's boring. Like, oh my God.
Okay. I thought it was like, for some reason, I thought it was like, I hate the way they treat the animals. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. But you're like, fuck that. It's boring.
It's like every 10 years there's a movie about a horse. Like, fuck, get out of here. Who cares? It's like, fucking, what do they run and they stop?
You know, it's funny because I find it funny that they have so many, they've done, you know, they don't do a lot of racing movies, but usually when they do, it's a fucking NASCAR. It's just a bunch of cars going left.
Yep.
And I would love to see one where they, I have a buddy who's huge into F1. And, you know, the curves of the track, and, you know, there's all sorts of, that's interesting to me. I would be really interested in watching that.
That Stallone movie, what is it called? Driven?
Oh, yeah. That's the problem, though. Stallone was in it.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good, though.
I never saw it.
Oh, yeah. He does this thing. He, like, flips some quarters out. He'll go and pick up the quarters with his tire because it's hot and they melt to it. It was cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you should watch that. I remember that being pretty good, actually.
They actually filmed that in Toronto, in my hometown. So
I believe it, because like half of everything ever filmed is in Toronto. It seems like.
See, even you know it. Yeah. No, Toronto is New York in most movies.
Bulletproof Monk was filmed in Toronto.
A good buddy of mine, and someone actually that I had on the show early on, he was one of the stuntmen. He was the stuntman for whatever, Sean William Patrick Scott McHarry. Yeah, him too.
That's a good movie, and I will die on that hill. It's a good movie.
That's not a bad hill to die on, actually. Like, that's not, I don't think a lot of people necessarily know the movie. Like, it's not like you came at a really shitty, like a movie that's like universally panned, and then you were like, no, I'm gonna die on this one. Like, I was like, actually, I don't remember that movie, but I'm sure you're right. Like, I'm sure it was probably pretty good.
I liked it. I like Sean Scott. I have a soft spot for him for whatever reason.
I can see that.
So He's even the show he's on right now, Welcome to Flatch. It's not great, but I've watched. I haven't seen the second season, but I watched the first season literally only because he was on it.
Okay, so now we're on to TV. Is there a show that you've watched where you're like, it's not great, but now I just gotta fucking finish it? Like,
That was that Welcome to Flatch was kind of one of them, and I may sit down and watch the second season. You know, so Sheldon Cooper in Big Bang Theory has a line in one of the episodes where he says, you know, if I start watching a show, I'm in for the long haul. I'm watching it all. For the most part, I will do that. There have been shows that I'm just like out on.
yeah,
But typically, I'm pretty picky about the shows I start.
yes,
So yeah, and typically I will wait until a show is canceled before I'll even start it sometimes. So if it runs for like 3 or 4 seasons and they're like, oh, such and such is canceled, it's like, sweet, now I'm going to watch that because now I can watch the whole damn thing quick as shit. But yeah, I mean, there are, you know, okay, so like The Flash, I guess might be a good example of that. I still like it, but it's gotten a little rough over the seasons.
yeah.
Supergirl was kind of the same, you know. I liked it
We stepped
overall.
out of all those WB shows, yeah, man, and we watched them for years religiously.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, Arrow probably over the course of those 8 seasons, it was like 7.5 seasons, but I think that one stayed pretty solid all the way through for the most part.
Yeah,
You ever seen The 100?
I loved The 100 actually.
Great, yeah. I mean, it was a little shaky from time to time. A couple of the seasons were like, yeah, but shit, it was enjoyable. Overall.
Well, and where it went too, I was like, I did not see that shit. I didn't see it going there. So yeah, no, it was cool. I would say that one of the things that bugged me, and actually I would say it's very much a WB thing because it's kind of like a young adult sort of
Yep.
mentality to a lot of their shows, is that I feel like they let the drama lead the story.
Mhm.
And so a lot of times you're like, that character wouldn't have done that. Like, what the fuck are you doing? And they're like, well, yeah, but if we played the character the way they are, it wouldn't be dramatic. And you're like, so what? Like, you'll figure something else out. But you're being fucking lazy right now. Because, like I said, you're letting the drama lead it.
Yeah. What was good about that show in particular is they did really good with their villains because you saw the point of view. That one kid specifically, I can't remember his name on the show, but he was in the whole thing. And I want to say like season 1 and 2, you're like, oh, I fucking hate this kid. And then by the end, you're like rooting for him because he turns out to be the good dude. So that's one thing that show does good.
Yep. Yeah. No, I do know who you're talking about. I can't remember. He's got the weasel face.
Yeah, and he was dating the girl with the hand, the mutant hand or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, he was great. Those kids were great on that show.
Yeah, yeah, no, good cast. It was a solid show. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah. We do have someone, they said create drama that fits the character, works so much better. I absolutely agree. I don't know who you are, Facebook user, but let us know.
Yeah, I mean, especially with villains, you have to create drama by what is their motivation, what do they want, and what are they willing to do to get it. So, you know, a lot of villains, it's power. You know, you got villains like, you know, the Joker, who's just straight chaos. So
yeah,
it's you figure out what type of villain they are and roll with it. That's the way I do it anyway.
Right. No, I feel you. I totally agree with you. It's Josh Pants, dude. That's so weird that Facebook's not even Facebook's throttling you. That's weird, man. So one that I watched that I'm now just like, all right, when it's good, it can be good. Joshua will be playing the Facebook user this evening. I like that. Have you ever seen Manifest?
I have seen that it's on something. I forget what is that on Netflix?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
I've
a
seen it on there. I haven't watched it yet though.
it's a neat Wasp style story, and I fucking dig that shit. And it, the whole hook is people get on this plane. The plane leaves the air, and then it's gone for 5 years, and then
Okay.
it suddenly shows up again 5 years later. Except for those people haven't aged a minute.
Okay.
And so,
Yeah.
what the hell happened to them? What's going on?
I figured it had something to do with an airplane because of Manifest. I was like,
Yeah.
did you watch? Have you seen Old, the movie?
No, I wanted to. How was that?
That's a wild ass movie. It was interesting. It's an M. Night Shyamalan thing.
I was gonna say, wasn't that M. Night? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's on. I think it's on HBO Max. I'm pretty sure. It was wild, man. It was pretty cool. That dude. When he hits, and I thought this was a pretty damn good one. I thought overall.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
He is someone who's kind of scattershot, though, isn't he?
Yeah. Yep.
I think what's smart though is that a lot of his ideas aren't super expensive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, okay, yeah, we don't. The studios don't necessarily have to throw a lot of money at him for him to
Right.
get something out, and it may be cool. It may suck. M.
Right.
Night cheats his audience too much.
That may be. Well, you think
How do you mean there, Josh? I'm interested. I'm not saying you're wrong by any means, but I'm interested in what you mean by that. For every 6 cents, there is a village.
See, I like The Village though. I like that one. That's one of the ones I like by him.
Wasn't the big thing about the village just the idea that it was like some it was actually just like a little town that was hidden away from the real world, and so these people were getting like mowed down by trucks and shit.
Yeah. It's it ended up being like one of them was rich or something, and they paid like the airlines not to fly over or some shit. But I thought overall the movie was fun, myself. But I worked at the theater.
I never saw it. I just
I guess I just spoiled the 20-year-old movie for you, but
I know, right? No, I'm fine with that, man. I'm totally fine with that.
I don't care for Unbreakable. I didn't care for by him. A lot of people really like that one.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great idea. I just didn't think he pulled it off, and I thought the movie took too long to get where it needed to go. Because really, it's like right at the end. That's when you're like, oh, okay, let's see what's going on here. So,
yeah, I feel you. And
the third one, whatever the third one's called, I haven't seen that.
Oh, was that Split or Mr. Glass?
Yeah, I don't remember. Split might have been the second one. Was that the one where he's like, I'm Rebecca or whatever?
Yeah.
Professor Xavier is McAvoy. James McAvoy's in that one. That was okay. I like that one all right. But I haven't seen the third one, whatever the third one's called.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was Mr. Glass.
It sounds about right.
Yeah. Josh says, because he plays with expectations in a way that cheats the payoff. The Village is a great example of this. The payoff doesn't fit the story he told. Signs and Sixth Sense are my favorite. Agree with Josh on Unbreakable.
We can agree on that one. I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
I also think that Bruce Willis was not the guy to play the main character in Unbreakable.
Yeah, I mean, it was just kind of a boring role. That character felt underwritten in a way.
Yeah. David, I think the character's name was. But yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, something like that. It's been a long time. I've only seen that one once because I was like, eh. And then I found out people loved it. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, fair enough.
Well, and I didn't watch Split and I didn't watch Mr. Glass, so I'd be interested in watching all three together and see what that looks like at some point. But not enough that I've done it. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, I would do it, but I haven't. But you know what?
we've talked a lot about other people's stuff and how we enjoy, what they do and what they don't do. Let's go back to your work. Turkey Sharks. Where even does that fucking name come from?
Yeah, I actually love the answer to this question because I do get asked it every now and again. I was trying to figure out a name for my superhero team, and I'm pretty good with titles. So if you've heard any of my titles, they're catchy. Stuffed Squirrels and Porcelain Angels, You'd Be Surprised, Cocaine Stripper Stronghold, Hellscape Concert of Flies. Like I'm pretty good with titles.
Yeah.
So I was like, I gotta knock it out of the park with this one. And I thought on it forever, and I almost was gonna do the Pride, and then like a Pride of Lions.
Yeah.
And then my buddy, he said something, and I Googled it, and then I think it already exists, but it's a LGBT thing. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. I'll let them have that one. And then one day, my kid was singing Baby Shark, that song. You've heard that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So he was singing that, and I call my son like my little turkey, like if he were in the other room, I'm like, hey, turkey, go grab this or something. So I was just singing like Baby Shark, do 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 do, and then I said Turkey Shark, do 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 do, and then I was like, huh, that's interesting. So in Ginger Avenger 2 or 3, I can't remember which issue. He has a girlfriend, and she is the turkey shark. She's like a geneticist that she was hired to splice 2 species together, and the only one she could make work was a turkey and a shark. And then she tested it on herself, as people do in comics.
Yeah.
And so she became a superheroine. And then she dies, spoiler alert. And Ginger Avenger is upset. So when he finally gets with the whole crew, there's a running joke where Pedo Man, through like 3 or 4 books, is trying to name the superhero team. And he's like the Mighty Ducks and the Thundercats and the Power Rangers. And he's just throwing out every like 90s, 80s reference. And finally, Ginger Avenger is like, yo, we're the Turkey Sharks. So that's kind of where that came from.
That's cute. And that's got kind of like a Agent Coulson, Avengers sort of feel to it. Yep. I like that.
Yep. Yeah, I made it make sense. Because comics.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. See? Even Josh likes it.
Sweet.
And Josh, if you do have cool stuff, show it off. Put it up there so that anybody who watches, they can see that you got cool stuff, and we'll share it around. Just like Josh right now has a Kickstarter for Turkey Sharks. What are they just look up Turkey Sharks on Kickstarter, issue 3?
Yeah, once again, actually, I was on Josh's show last night, and I did not have the link ready to go. And once again, I don't have the link ready to go. So, give me 2 seconds, I'll pull it up. My computer, actually, I went and was watching the 80s Turtle show with my son before he went to bed. And I came out and my computer had restarted, so that's why I lost the link. There it is. I'll grab it for you. There we go. Dropped it in the thing.
All right. Let's see if I can do something with this.
So it's a fun. It's got a little bit of funny. It's got some darkness and all that. And it's got some ridiculous shit too. That's for damn sure.
I'm gonna try something. All right. Boom. So I put it out there. It's just gonna end up on the YouTube, but hey, better than nowhere.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, people know how to find shit. It's Kickstarter.com. Type in Turkey Sharks. It'll pop up. So, and we're almost to our first stretch goal at $1,000. I'm gonna sign every book. So I mean.
Oh, cool.
So and then I forget what's after that. I like to give away the script in a PDF because I like to think that somebody will read the book and the script at the same time and see how it changed. Whether anybody has actually done that, I don't know, but I would do that. I would sit and read the script and the book and see, how I described it as opposed to how Cristiano drew it. And then, of course, I change my dialogue all the time and edit it, because I try to keep it up to date as best I can with the jokes and the riffs and stuff. Like I was talking to Heather from Heather's Long Box, and there was a DMX lyric in one of the books, and he had passed away like a month before I wrote before we finished it. And I think I had Cristiano change the line. I was like, put a DMX line in there instead of whatever we had. So stuff like that. I try to keep it as current as, like South Park, how current South Park stays with things. I try to do the same thing.
Yeah. We actually find that we end up being, with Bilal, we end up being accidentally current. Like, we're not trying to be current, but something happens. So in issue 2, we did a Bat Out of Hell cover.
Mm-hmm.
A couple months later, Meatloaf passes away.
Right. Yep.
We were like, oh shit, okay. Then this time around, for our main cover, our boy Greg Warrenchak, who does the interiors, he was like, I have this cool idea. I'm going to do a cover. I was like, yeah, go to town. We're excited. He did this great cover that is an homage to Neil Adams's version of Superman versus Muhammad Ali.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, then between the time that happened and it coming out, Neil Adams passes away. It's like, oh, fuck. Like, I feel like we're starting to write Death Note. So I told people, I was like, look, do us a favor. Tell us someone you fucking hate, and we'll homage them. That way that motherfucker won't make it to the end of the campaign.
I was trying to think who I should say.
Yeah, right? Because I'm like, I don't want anyone. I like those people. I don't want cool people to die. So who sucks? And we'll homage them.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Yeah, man.
Whoop, where are we at? There we go.
And now I just have to plug my headphones back in, and then we'll be. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Excellent. Cool. So, we're getting close to the end. Was there anything else that you wanted to talk about specifically as far as what you're doing, what you got coming up, anything like that?
Man, Turkey Sharks is it for the moment. I put a pause on everything else until after the new year, basically. After I get the last book sent out in the mail from this Kickstarter, then I'm probably maybe the next day. We'll see how I feel, but probably the next day I'll sit down and start the bro code.
So you don't even have anything else set up right away. You don't know what you're working on next. None of that.
Yeah, I mean, I know what I'm working on next, but I'm on purpose. I'm taking a break because I was doing Turkey Sharks, the writing and all that stuff, getting the Kickstarter ready while I was writing Hellscape Concert of Flies. And boy, it got very stressful there while I was getting to the tail end of everything, trying to edit the novel and get the Kickstarter ready. And so I'm like, all right, I'm forcefully taking a break, which is not something I'm good at. I've been going since 2015. I've written 10 books and 12 comics. I'm not super awesome at stopping. I'm kind of making myself for a moment, just take a break, enjoy the holiday seasons and I mean, and I got to book cons and shit too. I got all that stuff to do. So there's still plenty to do. I got fucking mice in my house and I can't get rid of them. Like, geez, like that's fucking.
You know what? It's funny because we had some mice infiltrate our house recently. Mm-hmm. We put out the sticky traps.
Yep. That's what
that actually it worked, but it wasn't a brilliant idea.
Did they squeal and make a bunch of noise and shit?
We didn't notice because it was all the way at the other end of the house. But what did end up happening was one of our dogs noticed a mouse on this fucking trap and then grabbed the mouse and brought it into our room. And of course, by that point, this The trap is stuck to his face. The mouse is in his. Dude, there's a whole fucking thing. And then shortly afterwards, my kid wanted a cat, and I was like, you know what? You could use an animal of your own. I get that. So let's do that for you. She's the youngest of three, and one has already moved on, and another one's about to. So I knew that she was going to need some company. So I was like, okay, we'll get you a kitten. So she got a cat, and a couple of weeks later, she says, "Dad, oh." She called him Onion, but I call him Oni because that's just, I feel like Onion is such a dumb name. And this cat is a little demon, like a lovable little demon. So I call him Oni. And she goes, "Dad, Onion ate a mouse." I was like, "Good, he did his job." She's like, "All he left behind was the tail." I'm like, I guess we got to get rid of the tail then. Like, I guess he doesn't like tail.
Yeah, it was about a month ago. I was making my sandwich before I went to my day job. Like, it was like 6 a.m. or whatever. And, I'm making my sandwich. I look on the counter and I see all the little poop. And I was like, what the fuck? Are you serious? So I went that day and got some traps. And the first 2 mice were clever, man. It took me a while to get them. But then once I got them and I left the traps out for a few days and they weren't getting set off, the peanut butter was staying on them. So finally, I pulled out the stove, and there was like a legit Tom and Jerry fucking mouse hole back there. Yep.
Oh shit! Yeah, we've got one over there too. Yeah, I feel you. Cats are the ultimate mousetrap. They really are, dude.
Yep. So I sealed it up and put the stove back and shit, and like I've been working on my kitchen, like getting it ready to get new counters and some other stuff. But then, just the other day I noticed it again. I'm like, son of a bitch. So now, like today, I went like AWOL. Like got under the sink and caulked up all around the pipes. And like, I'm trying to figure out where the hell they're coming from. Last night, I didn't sleep last night for shit because every couple hours, whack. I got 3 last night. And of course, I'd have to get up and dispose of it.
That many? Holy shit.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? So 5 total. So it's like, what the hell? And I've been here, this is my second winter here. There weren't any the first winter, I don't think, that I noticed anyway. So now, like I said, I'm trying to figure out where the hell they're getting in. And my house isn't dirty or anything.
Right? That's fucked.
So it's, it's irritating. That's for damn sure.
Well, I'm pretty sure this is still Josh. He says, "Best of luck to you, Josh. And Chuck, Now I know if I ever use you in a story, you'll be a Shimigami." Well, thank you. If you do, let me know. I'd totally check it out. Dude, so, guys, I want you guys to go out, check out Turkey Sharks. Dude, I mean, I've read your shit before. It's fucking fun. I think it was, I read Stingray, right?
Yeah, I think you read Stingray #1 at least.
Yeah.
And that was probably my worst book because that was the first one I ever did. I didn't know what I was doing. I've gotten a lot
That was
better.
fun though, man.
Yeah, a lot better since. These books are fun, man. I mean, name another book that has a gay Amish superhero. Doesn't exist.
Not enough, man. Not enough.
Blasphemer is it, man. And he hangs out with Pedo Man. They're like buddy cop. They're funny as shit together.
That just sounds great, man. Guys, check out Turkey Sharks. You're gonna have a blast. You're gonna laugh your balls off, and especially with all the shit going on, we could use more laughs. So please check it out. Josh, dude, I always love having you on the show, man.
Well, I appreciate it. Any chance to talk to other creators around the country is always fun. And one of these days, I'm sure we'll be in the same spot at some point.
I would love it. Do you do a lot of traveling?
I'm getting close to starting to do so. I've done a lot of mid-tier shows and a lot of small ones. I really like the small ones because they're one day I can go and come back. But I'm getting very close to jumping into the big ones. So
yeah, I just jumped dead into the big ones. I haven't done a lot of the small shows.
Yeah, the small shows are fun, man, because they're cheap, they're low risk. and you know, they're slower, so you can really talk to each customer and get a feel for them and get them in the right thing.
Yeah.
You know, and I did a video game convention last Saturday, and it was crazy. Like, I was not expecting to do as well as we did.
Yeah. Good for
Yeah.
you, man.
Yeah, we hit a new sales record. The previous sales record was at a 2-day show, and this was a 1-day show, and we blew it out of the water. It wasn't even close.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. So that was a good win.
And that's the other thing is that you have the 1-day and 2-day shows because a lot of these big boys, they're like 3-day, 4-day shows. Like, it's a fucking marathon.
Yep. Yeah, you're looking at dropping $1,000 just on your table and hotel, and
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Small shows are good community builders. That makes sense.
yep.
I should check some out. Then I should do more small shows. You're right.
Libraries and shit. I mean, libraries are a little tough because it's going to be slow typically. But
Yeah.
you know, you can actually bullshit with people. Like I said, I did Findlay Library here in Ohio on Friday, and I did it last year as well. They have, like, once a year they have an author fair, and yeah, I want to say like 3 or 4 of the people were people from last year. They came back, you know. So
That's badass.
yep. One guy, it took me a minute. Like, I knew his face, and as we talked for a minute, he mentioned I used to live in Florida and this and that. And I was like, I know exactly who you are now. So, you know, it's cool. I love when that happens.
He said, First Fridays, if they exist in your area, are great places.
I don't know what that means.
Not me neither. So obviously they don't exist where we are either.
Yeah,
of
maybe
us.
not. I mean, I
But
do love The First Friday. I mean, it's a fantastic movie.
oh yeah, oh good. That's a good pick.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, you know what, man? I appreciate you coming out. Seriously, I had a good time. I hope this Kickstarter just fucking blows everything away. I hope we start seeing more people jumping on it. I'm looking right now to see, did anybody? Nah.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna go watch The Sixth Sense, and I'm gonna ruin it for my son. I'm gonna spoil the ending for him unless you guys back the Kickstarter.
There you go. Poor kid's gonna cry because as soon as Bruce Willis comes on he'll just be like, he's already dead.
Yep. And that guy was in a boy band. The guy that killed him.
That's right, dude. I remember. I was like, that's Donnie Wahlberg. Holy fuck.
Yeah, it was like a decade later when people were like, "Hey, did you know that was Donnie Wahlberg?" And you're like, you go back, you're like, "Holy fuck, it is Donnie Wahlberg." And then he was in Saw 2. And then he married a crazy anti-vaxxer.
Oh, that's right. He did, didn't he?
Are they still married? I don't know. I don't keep up.
I wouldn't know.
Good for him, though.
Hey,
he's all right. I don't got a problem with him. Whatever.
No, he deserves to be happy.
Yeah, sure.
All right, man. You have a good one. Thank you guys so much. We've got a very interesting show next week. We actually have an OnlyFans creator who is going to be showing up. We have that's right. We have our first very adult Chuck's Shop Talk. I think it's going to be one to definitely check out. But I will tell you something about this woman. She fucking runs circles around almost anyone else I've seen as far as putting out content. And I'm not just talking titty shots and shit like that. I mean, like, I'm seeing reels with her name on it. I'm seeing TikToks. I'm seeing fucking Facebook posts, Instagrams, and they're all different. This woman fucking pounds out. So much. I probably shouldn't have said it like that. Pounds out. But she puts out so much creative shit. So next week, I think that's going to be one that you guys are all going to really be interested in. I'm sure we're not going to be able to show you anything that you really want to see, but the content is going to be fucking killer. So thank you guys so much. Josh, I always love having you on the show, man. Seriously.
Well, and I love coming on. I appreciate it.
Nice.
I love coming on.
And pounding one out. Yep. Josh has been trying to get one of those on my podcast. I know a few of them that are incredible in that department. Absolutely, dude. I could introduce you to a couple who I think would be absolutely phenomenal. And hell, the woman that I'm about to interview,
check out the interview next week, man. If you like her, scoop her up, homie. You're very welcome. We were glad to do it, man. We appreciate you coming out and chatting with us. Thank you guys so much. I love hanging out with you. My name is Chuck, and I give a fuck. Take care.